right, Sports Talker Nation. It is once again your host, the G-Man. Today we're here to talk about the Miami Dolphins in our 2015 NFL year in review. What to say about the Dolphins? They are the definition. You know how they say that some teams are better than the sum of their parts? They are far worse than the sum of their parts. But let's start with what went right. I don't know. I don't know what went right. I think they were right to fire Philbin. I think he's a terrible coach. I'm not sure that the Hans and Franz coach that they hired, the weightlifter ass kicker guy, is a long-term NFL head coach, but he did have a little brief run. I think they implemented facets of the Chip Kelly system better than Chip Kelly did because they didn't do it all the time, and they ran a little tempo, and I think that actually helped them. So I think that went well. I think Lamar Miller, for some reason, no one wants to give the guy a chance to run the ball. Averages about 5 yards a carry, only gets about 12 carries a game. He's better than that. They need to feed him the ball. I know he's not a big guy, but I think he's good for 15 to 18 touches a game. You get 15 to 18 touches a game, he's probably an 1,100-yard runner, and he'll catch 40 passes a year. I think he's a very good player. I don't know why they don't give him the ball. Their offensive line wasn't terrible. I think they have some young wide receivers. I think Devontae Parker, I'm a big believer in him. I think he was hurt a lot. When he came back, he had a big run where he started to catch not only a lot of passes, but he started to get passes for good yardage. So I think he's a player. I think their offensive line was okay. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was terrible. I think their defensive line was okay, and I don't think it was terrible. However, saying that leads you right into what went wrong. The fact that their defensive line was only okay, not terrible, despite spending $500 billion on Ndamukong Suh, that's a problem. Their D-backs, they're so hit or miss. They had some weeks where they look like shutdown corners and other weeks where it looks like they couldn't cover me, and I am now 43 and slow with 2 blown Achilles previously in my past. So that's not a compliment. So I'm not sure exactly what to make of them. I do think a lot of that is coaching staff, so hopefully the flavor of the month that went out there and Gase is going to be the big superstar that everyone thinks he's going to be and try to help turn that defense around, though I think he'll probably leave that to a defensive expert because he's an offensive guy. And that's okay because, frankly, he has quite a bit on his plate anyway, trying to get that offense right. I don't know what to make of Ryan Tannehill. If you look at Ryan Tannehill, he does everything well. He's a prototype modern quarterback. He's young, he's fast, he's mobile, he can move, he's big. In college, he was athletic enough to play wide receiver until he played quarterback. So there's no reason he shouldn't be a franchise quarterback, except for his heart and his head. So you heard stories about how he used to taunt practice squad players who picked him off in practice. It's not the show of a leader, and you did see him disappear when it mattered, and he would not make a throw rather than make a bad throw. It reminded me a little bit of Donovan McNabb. Now, that's a little unfair to McNabb because he was a great player, the best franchise quarterback in the history of the Eagles, but he would at times not make a play or not try to make a play because he didn't want to throw the interception, and I think that's what you see in Tannehill, so that certainly didn't work. Their defense just didn't work as a whole. They gave up far too many yards for the talent that they had. And I still can't figure out why. Again, they were a very difficult team to figure out why. I really thought they were going to challenge this year for the division lead. They didn't. I don't know what to make of them. They have me perplexed. I don't even know where they go in the draft. To me, they don't have a screaming need other than, just with most teams, most offensive linemen. But I'm sure, they can get better if Gase is the right guy. I have my questions whether or not he's the right guy as a coach. But I'm just not sure what to make of that team. I'm not sure if they're up and coming or if they're going to have to blow it up. And I don't think they know either. I think all depends on this coming year. They're going to see what happens with Tannehill, and they're going to adjust accordingly because that is the most important position. If he can do it, then I think they make a difference. The wide receivers get better. Maybe you draft a tight end a little later, make some change that way. But other than that, the Dolphins, uneven moving forward is my projection. That's about all I have to say about that. This is the G-Man Boys, and I am out.